How you doing, guys? It's Bogan and Brent. We're back talking the restart of the NRL and how that's going to affect the league and how that's going to affect the show going forward. How you doing, Breno?
Good, Bogan, mate. Good. Yes. Well. Look what the cat dragged in. We're back. Who would have thought? I wasn't too sure it was going to get up and running for a while there, but announcement today from, I think, Tommy Sangster and the Cruise, some Supercoach changes, and obviously, May 28, we've got the season to start. So it's time to start getting ready, and we'll be back up until May 28 now, Bogan. So looking forward to it, but plenty to take in after the announcement today as well.
Yeah, and we don't have Joshy. I didn't get in contact with Joshy because it's yeah. I did contact him to see what we were going to do, but he didn't get back to me, so I don't know what state poor Josh is in. I think we're all a bit frazzled with what's going on. People's different working situations, and there being no footy on and stuff like that. So I don't know about you, mate, but I was a bit depressed during this period of uncertainty, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, right? Like, we realise now how much our lives really revolved around sport and what it does for you, because there's just been none of it on, and I've had to resort to spending time with my family, which has been terrible, mate. But no, look, it's definitely been odd, and like I said, with working arrangements have changed and all that sort of stuff, and plenty of people doing it tough. I'm thankful I just got a job and have been able to do what I can do at home and that sort of thing. So plenty of people out there doing tough, but hopefully a bit of footy on can start to bring a bit of positivity back into the world, at least. For that 80 minutes that the game's going. But yeah, plenty to hopefully improve on over the next few months in the world.
Yeah, and there's been plenty to talk about off the field, but we'll probably wait until we've got Joshy in before I go on another one of my rants. But since the last episode we did, Greenberg's gone. So he fell on his sword due to what's going on. So I got my wish there. I sort of don't wish he got paid out fucking $600,000 for his efforts, but yeah, there'll be changes in the administration as well. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on. But let's get into this article. I've got it on couriermail.com. And we'll just go through this quickly. As you said, Josh's best mate, Tom Sangster, has been become alive again, tweeting about cheapies and stuff like that. So if that's something people are interested in, follow Josh's best mate, Tom Sangster, on Twitter, and tell him that Josh sends his love. But the NRL starts on the 28th of May, and to adjust for the reduced season and crazy circumstances, we've made some exciting changes to KFC Supercoach. I will just add, I was reading this earlier, and I love the way that they keep this, with all this, what's going on, they're keeping the sponsors. Because if you're playing Red Rooster Supercoach, you're fucked. But with 16 clubs expected to take part in a 20-round competition, we've made the following alterations to the game. So, at a glance, KFC Supercoaches will be given 5 trades for the upcoming round 3, up from the normal 2, to allow for changes in circumstances over the COVID-19 hiatus. The 5 trade feature will go live within the game on May 12th, so start planning. Thoughts on that as we go through?
Yeah, I reckon so. You're going to have a couple of things here. You'll have obviously Classic Supercoach and Draft Supercoach. There's a couple of different aspects to it. But yeah, first up for Classic, which is probably the one most people will be keen on, is we'll get 5 trades. That's going to be massive. Unprecedented, obviously. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage it. Obviously, I think this is all still dependent on the release of the NRL draw. So it's going to be, as you mentioned, a 20-round comp. They've already played two rounds in the season. They're counting that in the 20. So there'll be another 18 regular season rounds of footy plus finals. So, yeah, for Supercoach, I think this is all subject to whatever they end up doing with that draw. But it looks like there won't be any buys now, so you don't have to worry about buy planning. Origin will be after the season, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So yeah, this is unprecedented, pretty interesting and exciting. These 5 trades will be absolutely massive, and it does say, yeah, as you said, that 5 trade functionality becoming available on the 12th of May, so you won't be able to get that until next Tuesday. But yeah, you can start having a look at your side, and I think it's quite interesting given we've already played a couple of rounds. There was probably people that did want to make 3 or 4 trades coming to this price change week, which is another big part of it. Prices will change for most guys once they play their next game. Most of them will be playing their 3rd game, so it's actually quite fortuitous, I reckon. But yeah, pretty exciting. Bit of a super trade week. So we won't lose any trades, and it's just going to be bizarre.
The next point is the overall number of 37 trades won't change despite the season being reduced from 25 to 20 rounds. This allows Red Rooster Supercoaches insurance against unforeseen issues, and they use the example mass standing down of players. If there's a mass standing down of players, you'd think that the NRL will just call the season off. I think they only got one shot at this.
Yeah, I don't really know, because if for instance, if a team like the Warriors can't play, or the Storm or something like that, it'll be pretty. And
there is news there between the Australian and New Zealand government are talking up a travel bubble. So travel will be, what they're trying to negotiate is travel will be allowed between Australia and New Zealand. But we'll have to see how that goes, and how that, hopefully for the Warriors' sake, that will eventuate so they can play their home games.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it's only going to be one more thing. If something has to get called off again, or a team or 2 gets dropped, it'll have massive ramifications for the admin and the comp. So I think
they're already
it'd have to be canned.
They're already copping shit from left and right from let's face it, non-footy fans for starting the season again. To which I say, fuck them. Like, as long as they take the appropriate precautions, I don't see it being unlike any other job. Just need to make sure. Like, there was a bit of a scare at South this week, but everything seems to have worked out. As long as players are getting regularly tested and appropriate distancing measures are being taken outside of the games, I don't see there being an issue. But anyway, on to the next point. If users want to restart their draft league from scratch and do a redraft, they should contact Vapor Media. I'm guessing that's the company that runs Supercoach.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 click help, blah, blah, blah. You indicated to me that we're not restarting the draft. The draft will continue.
Oh, look, so I can't see why you would want to do this. I know some of the circumstances. I could see how you may. I think, obviously some people might say that they draft their team based on the draw and, origin players, and, we're not playing through buys, so it didn't matter for us anyway, possibly your buy schedule. Ultimately, in my opinion, and probably from the majority of draft leagues, the biggest difference is you're going to probably not play everyone as much if you had a competition that was going to go through to, round 21 and then finals in round 22. For instance, it just means, there'll be regular season games up to round 17, and if you had or 16, and if you had a 4-round finals series, that still starts in round 17. So I don't think it changes too much, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple of players in our draft league that wouldn't mind redoing the draft again.
Well, and that's the funny thing. The people that didn't draft too well in retrospective don't like some of the things. They're obviously going to like to do it, but I think that would be rare. I'm in, I think 5 draft leagues, and I don't think we'll be redrafting in any of them. That said, I think
it sounds like it'll be a pain in the fucking ass to organise a redraft anyway.
Yeah,
if you have to actually go to the webmasters and get them to set it up for you.
And then you've actually got to then do another draft, which would be pretty fun, to be fair. Like, the drafts themselves are quite good.
I had a good time with the draft, so yeah.
So I think what's interesting is if you've been on the buzzer over the last couple, however long, few weeks, 4 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks, whatever it's been now, and you have been, picking guys up. There's been guys like, due back from injury, potentially like Matt Lodge, and, Jordan Rapana's back. You've probably been able to get a little bit of a foot up if you've been on the ball with it. It does change things, in regards to injuries and stuff like that, which is quite interesting. But I don't think for us, I don't think it really changes too much. It just means there's not as many head-to-head matches like regular season matches, and our final series is still, it won't change. We're just not playing everyone as many times throughout the season. So if you had a shit start, say you've started 0-2 in your draft, it means you're going to have to sort it out a bit quicker. But I mean, ultimately over 17 rounds, 17 rounds, you should be getting the best teams anyway, to be fair.
And my argument, because Teddy in the chat has just said that he definitely doesn't want the draft to restart, but a second draft night would be cool. We might organise that actually for a mid-season catch-up for the people in the draft, where we have some beers and sling shit at each other. But when it comes to restarting the draft, if they're not restarting the competition, I don't see the point in restarting the draft. So that's my opinion on that.
The only thing is they're going to reshuffle the actual NRL draw, but I think ultimately it will probably level out in the end. Anyway, there's no buys, no origin, so there's not too much you have to worry about now. So most teams should be fine anyway.
All right. Well, anyways, back onto the article, the Supercoach Classic. So, team points for overall prizes and leagues to be carried over. So there's no restarter points. So my shitty start to the season, it sticks.
Yeah, a couple of our boys will be Teddy and Ginge will be happy about that. Neither here nor there. I think that's fair enough. It'd be a bit drastic to pull it, I think.
Yep. Season reduced to 20 rounds in line with the NRL. Yep. Total 37 remains unchanged. They were fucking repeating themselves a lot in this article. At the end of round 3, trades will move back to the usual 2 allowed per week. That was to be expected. Bye rounds have been removed. We discussed that. No change to 10 and 20 team league sizes. Head-to-head gameplay to start in round 3. As scheduled for 20-man leagues to be implemented for 10-team leagues. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think the one interesting with Classic is draft has already had head-to-head start, generally speaking. Yeah. Classic, your head-to-heads don't start to round 3. So what it means is we're only going to have rounds 3 to 16 for your head-to-heads. Mm-hmm. So that's only 13, 14 rounds, which isn't heaps. If you consider you might play 21 or I think it's 19 or something usually, plus your 4 rounds of finals, whatever it is. So it is a bit of a reduced head-to-head fixture if you're a head-to-head guy, which makes it pretty interesting if you're in any head-to-head cash leagues or anything like that. So something just to keep in mind, but you can't change any of that. There's no ability to make changes to that format. That's just what it's going to be as a result of all this. Yeah. Finals will start in round 17 for classic leagues, whether you're a 10-man or a 20-man league. So and I think everyone's in the same boat, so you can't really complain too much. And as I said, as no classic leagues have had their head-to-head matches play yet, I don't think anyone's at a massive disadvantage by that. It just means it's going to be important if you're in your head-to-heads and you want to do well to start well, because you're not going to have as much time to play catch-up if you don't start too well.
Yep, okay. Where was I up to? A lot of stuff you already mentioned. Final series to remain at 4 rounds, so 17 to 20. Player prices to be updated at the end of round 3. It then goes into the draft. Leagues that extend beyond 20 rounds will be scaled back to fit a 20-round season, including any final series option as elected by any league. Did we have finals set up?
Yeah, we have finals set up. Yeah.
So that'll be the same as the Classic then. Skip bye rounds has been removed. That doesn't matter for us. Gameplay otherwise continues as usual, as per above. Users contact blah 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 via the contact us form within the Red Rooster Supercoach to redraft and restart their leagues if they wish. Important notes. I'll just see if there's anything in here. Above changes are subject to any alterations to the proposed NRL schedule. We'll probably go a little bit deeper into that when we have Joshy on board, but as I mentioned before, if there's any major upsets to the season, I don't see the NRL continuing on with it. The changes are still to be reflected in our competition's terms and conditions. So if you're looking to sue Supercoach, guys, now's the time to do it. Changes, including the 5-trade feature for the upcoming round, will be implemented into the product on May 12th. So we'll be looking to do a show around the 11th or 12th. It just depends on all of our scheduling. We'll do another team list Tuesday or something like that, close to the 12th. And then we're back week to week, as intended, as the Lord intended. So, yeah, you won't be able to make your 5 trades until the 12th of May, but you can definitely start planning. And that's the end of that article, and that's what's going on with the Supercoach rules at the moment.
Yeah, and this is all pretty raw. I think there'll be probably some questions that will come out as people, get a bit more time to soak it up. With drafts and all that sort of stuff, different types of finals formats. For instance, if you've got a draft league that only has 2 rounds of finals, I can only assume that means finals will start in round 19. Does that mean you play regular season games up until round 18? I don't really know exactly.
It said 17 to 20.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work if you don't have a 4-round finals league, for instance. So little things like that, but I think it will come out in the wash, and I think they'll be hopefully pretty good to be like customizing leagues if you get in contact with them to say, hey, this is going on. So plenty of time. Just probably jump on it early if you've got a draft league or you've got any questions. Get in contact with them pretty much now. I don't want to leave it too late, just so you can be on the front foot with whatever's going to happen with your league.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, we'll go more into what's been going on and off the field. You mentioned before, big one, Rapano's back. Was able to somehow get out of his rugby contract due to what's going on. And has he been officially picked up by the Raiders yet?
I haven't seen it officially, but I've seen news reports saying they have signed him, but I haven't actually seen the announcement as yet. But I think he's in the Supercoach system, so I think he must be official by now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah, and that's the news. So we'll be back on the 11th or 12th to do a big trade special, and then we'll roll back into the season. Hopefully, get it started again.
Yeah, sounds good. So we'll be back in under a week. We'll start assessing what this might mean. Players, a lot of guys are probably going to come back unfit. Hearing things about Latrell and different. It'll be really interesting to see how guys spent this time.
If you're on the Latrell train, get off him.
Well, and this is the thing. It's not just going to be Latrell. There's going to be a heap of guys that it's going to be huge. They had a whole preseason. They didn't know how long they were going to be out for. Guys like Andrew Fafita is a big slug.
They're already making excuses for Latrell.
So it'll be interesting, and he's possibly not playing fullback. But yeah, plenty of that sort of stuff. It will be really interesting to see how guys have spent their time off. So plenty to dissect and break down over the next couple of weeks, mate. But looking forward to team lists when they come out again, and hopefully back to normal.
We'll discuss with Joshy tends to be more on the form guides than us, because I'll be interested to see what he likes what he thinks about the shortened season, who that'll benefit. I'm sure there's some players that will cruise pretty strong into the finals, not having to worry about Origin and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic to it all.
And considering that the Origin's going to be the end of the season too, just from an NRL perspective, you're going to have to think this year's final series is going to be a cracker if they're playing for Origin jerseys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So hopefully, optimistic. Don't know what's fucking going on with the lockouts, or whether they'll let people into the games, or whether it's going to be any more of those weird fucking audience-less fucking games, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, just thought we'd touch base back with fucking everyone in the land of BJ on GameDay, and to say that we're back, and we're at least me and Brent are raring to go. Haven't heard from Joshy, but I'm sure he'll leave a comment or something like that. And yeah, got any final things to say, Brent?
Oh, look, Josh, he'll be frothing at those 5 trades, so he'll be around, he'll be flying.
Oh,
Don't worry about that.
He'll love the extra trades too. He's a trade addict.
Plenty of them, so it should be good. Exciting times. Get yourself ready, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks.
And you poor fuckers that built your team around the buys. Suck shit.
throw it out the window.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, we'll see you closer to the draft day, the big draft day.
Hey guys, Joshy here. Thanks very much for joining us for another episode of BJ on Game Day. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube for all your notifications. If you do want to follow us on Facebook, you can find us there at BJ on Game Day, and on Twitter we're at BJ on Game Day as well. So guys, we'd really like your support with that. Follow us so we can know you guys are enjoying the content. Thanks very much.